The most important thing we can do for long-term brain health is to feed the brain properly and give it exactly what it needs to function, repair, and protect itself. The brain is not a static organ. It is alive, dynamic, and constantly changing. To understand this, we turn to Dr. Russell Blaylock, a renowned neurosurgeon with over 4 decades of experience studying the human brain from the inside out. Blaylock is widely known for exposing the hidden dangers of neuroinflammation and excitotoxicity, and for challenging conventional medical thinking about nutrition and chronic disease. He is the author of several groundbreaking books, including Excitotoxins, The Taste That Kills, Health and Nutrition Secrets, Natural Strategies for Cancer Patients, and more recently, The Liver Cure, which focuses on natural solutions for fatty liver disease, inflammation, obesity, and leaky gut. Today, he continues to educate the public on how diet and lifestyle can help prevent and slow the progression of chronic disease, particularly diseases of the brain. For many years, scientists believed the brain never changed after adulthood, but research has completely overturned that idea. What we now know is that the brain is constantly forming new synapses, new dendritic connections, and new pathways. These connections are continually being built, refined, destroyed, and rebuilt throughout life. Even more surprising, studies show that the brain actually becomes more complex as we age. This increasing complexity is what we often refer to as wisdom. It is not a vague concept, but a measurable biological process driven by growing neural networks. Studies on individuals over the age of 100 show that this process continues even then. This ability of the brain to change, adapt, and reorganize itself is known as neuroplasticity. For the brain to maintain this plasticity and continue functioning optimally, it must be supported properly. It needs adequate rest, protection from toxins, and most importantly, proper nutrition. The brain is one of the most energy-demanding organs in the body. It relies heavily on glucose as its primary fuel, with roughly 80% of its energy coming from glucose metabolism. This glucose is ideally derived from complex carbohydrates, not refined sugars. In addition to fuel, the brain requires a wide range of complex molecules that can only be obtained from food. If the diet does not supply these essential nutrients, brain function begins to suffer. This decline may show up as insomnia, brain fog, memory problems, difficulty speaking clearly, mood disorders, or behavioral changes. Research has shown strong links between diet and conditions such as depression, anxiety, obsessive behaviors, and even aggression. One of the most dangerous but least discussed threats to the brain is excitotoxicity. Excitotoxicity occurs when brain cells are overstimulated by certain chemicals, leading to inflammation, oxidative stress. Dr. Blaylock has warned for years that many common food additives act as excitotoxins. These include substances such as monosodium glutamate (MSG), aspartame, and other flavor enhancers widely used in processed foods. These chemicals can overstimulate neurons, making them vulnerable to damage from free radicals. Even short-term exposure to excitotoxins can trigger inflammatory processes in the brain that may persist for years or even decades. The modern diet exposes nearly everyone to these harmful substances, especially when eating processed foods or restaurant meals. Excitotoxins are often hidden under names such as hydrolyzed vegetable protein, soy protein isolate, yeast extract, carrageenan, and natural flavors. As a result, many people consume large amounts of these compounds without realizing it. Over time, this chronic exposure increases the risk of neurodegenerative diseases and accelerates brain aging. The good news is that excitotoxic damage can be reduced and even counteracted by providing the brain with the nutrients it needs to defend itself. Certain vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients help stabilize brain cells, reduce inflammation, support mitochondrial energy production, and neutralize free radicals. Among the most important are omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin E, and coenzyme Q10, often working alongside alpha-lipoic acid. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly DHA, are among the most critical nutrients for brain health. When consumed through foods such as fatty fish or flaxseed, omega-3s are converted into EPA and DHA. DHA is especially important as it makes up roughly half of the fat content of the brain. The brain itself is composed of about 60% fat, and DHA plays a vital role in maintaining cell membranes, synapses, and neurotransmitter function. DHA is also a powerful anti-inflammatory compound, and since most degenerative brain diseases involve inflammation, adequate DHA intake is essential. Research shows that DHA helps increase serotonin levels, which are linked to mood, sleep, and emotional stability. It also boosts acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that declines in Alzheimer's disease. Studies have found that individuals with low DHA levels are significantly more likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. The brain depends on a steady supply of DHA to form new connections throughout life, whether at age 30 or 90. Natural sources of DHA include fatty fish such as sardines, salmon, mackerel, anchovies, fish roe, pasture-raised eggs, and grass-fed animal products. Magnesium is another nutrient that plays a crucial role in protecting the brain and cardiovascular system. Magnesium deficiency is extremely common, especially as people age. Low magnesium levels are associated with increased risk of stroke, heart disease, and accelerated atherosclerosis. In the brain, magnesium acts as a natural calcium channel blocker, preventing excessive neuronal firing and reducing the severity of brain injury during trauma or stroke. When magnesium levels are low, brain damage from injury or inflammation is dramatically worsened. Natural sources of magnesium include leafy green vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, avocados, and other unrefined whole foods. Vitamin C is often thought of only as an antioxidant, but its role in the brain goes far beyond that. Vitamin C supports the production of neurotransmitters such as acetylcholine and dopamine, both of which are essential for memory, focus, and motor control. It also helps regulate glutamate levels, preventing excessive stimulation that can lead to excitotoxic damage. Additionally, vitamin C regenerates vitamin E, allowing it to continue protecting brain cell membranes. The best sources of vitamin C are whole foods such as berries, citrus fruits, kiwi, bell peppers, broccoli, and leafy greens, where it naturally occurs alongside flavonoids that enhance its effectiveness. Vitamin E is another key protector of brain health, particularly because it is fat-soluble and concentrates in cell membranes. It shields brain fats and cholesterol from oxidative damage and plays a role in reducing cancer risk. Natural vitamin E found in plant foods is far more beneficial than synthetic forms. Rich sources include nuts, seeds, avocados, olive oil, and green vegetables. Vitamin E works best when paired with vitamin C as the two antioxidants support each other. Coenzyme Q10 is essential for energy production inside mitochondria, the power plants of every cell. The brain, with its high energy demands, is especially dependent on CoQ10. It also acts as a potent antioxidant protecting cells from oxidative stress. Alpha lipoic acid works alongside CoQ10 and is one of the most versatile antioxidants in the body, active in both fat and water-based environments. Together, they support mitochondrial function and help reduce inflammation and free radical damage. While providing the brain with essential nutrients is vital, it is equally important to avoid foods that actively damage brain health. Chronic inflammation increases with age, and by the mid-70s, free radical production in the brain can be many times higher than in youth. One of the strongest dietary drivers of brain inflammation is excessive consumption of omega-6 vegetable oils. Oils such as corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, peanut oil, and even canola oil have been shown to promote inflammation and increase the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. These oils are heavily used in processed foods, making avoidance difficult unless one focuses on whole, unprocessed foods. Reducing brain inflammation also means avoiding high sugar intake, high fructose corn syrup, and heavily processed foods that burden the liver and disrupt metabolic balance. Emphasizing fresh vegetables, fruits, healthy fats, and traditionally prepared foods helps protect both the brain and the body as a whole. The brain does not require exotic supplements or extreme diets. It requires real food, eaten consistently with attention to quality and balance. When properly nourished and protected, the brain retains its remarkable ability to adapt, repair, and remain sharp well into old age.